game coach. Hopefully it'll find one in a minute. Yeah, I'm trying out this whole stream starting soon thingy to see if it helps me. I guess it helps with like setting things up. Anyway, yeah, gonna wait for the game to load. And for Streamlabs to find it. Oh, this is awkward. Why isn't it finding the game? There we go. Ah, we found it. Awesome. Right, cool. Right. Apologies for slight delay there. Welcome. Like, yeah. I'll set the YouTube thing so like to mark this as the start of the stream. Anyway, hello, welcome. Kerbal Space Program Science Mode, part 28, I believe, which is continuing the testing regime for the Moho Lander / Rover deployment. So we beefed it up, and we're going to try a automated. Like we're going to do the next test remotely because I'm not that bothered about getting the Kerbals back. I just want to see if I can physically land this thing. So we do need to finish designing it though. So might as well get started with that. Moho Lander Mun Touchdown autosave ship. That's not what we want. I believe it's just Moho Lander now. 208,000 Kerbucks, or whatever the actual currency of Kerbin is. I assume it has involved the word Ker somewhere. Right. So yeah. So this is our like lander with transfer stage so far. I do want to add a couple of components, mostly because we're flying this fully remotely. So I want to make sure that we have. Because I believe there are a couple of here. So we have the Kerbal engineering system, or like Beautify. So these are basically like, I think I've got it set up. I think I have Kerbal Engineer Redux settings set up so that you don't actually need these. But in theory, like these components essentially function like an engineer on a ship. So I'm thinking I might just like add one somewhere so that we have one for this mission. And then the other thing I want is, and I'm not sure where it is exactly, is I think there's a thing which lets you like, is it in command pods maybe? Yeah, it's a thing that like, it looked like it was a part to enable like MechJeb on. There we go, MechJeb case. I'm assuming that we need to attach one of these to be able to use MechJeb if we want to on an unmanned ship. Is my thinking. So we've added those two. I kind of like, ideally I want as much delta V on this thing as possible because I want in an ideal world I'd like this thing to get to Moho with as much liquid fuel in it as possible, so that we can refuel the main ship when we dock. So if I can somehow like build a transfer stage around this with enough delta V to at least get most of the way to Moho, then I'm inclined to try and do that. So yeah, I'm gonna check the I'm pretty sure the staging here is adequate. But yes, so we have that's the 3 point. I think that's the 3.75 meter S3 tank. So start with one of these. See how we go. Engine plate. Whilst we're on coupling, let's get the radial decoupler. Let's whack 4 of these on. And actually we'll set our delta V to Kerbin vacuum. well, it seems to have had no effect on this thing. So I feel like the delta V calculations in game are rather out of whack. But yes, I think this ideally this is going to be a vacuum, like a pretty much mostly vacuum stage. So we want to consider like vacuum optimized engines. So things like the Wolfhound. Wolfhound's probably a good shout. The Rhino is like not super optimized for vacuum. What's the ISP of this thing? And 380 versus like 340. So this is this is better ISP. It's even better than the do the bear mount. I mean, yeah, they are technically separate engines. So yeah, it's not an awful lot of delta V. But the idea is, yes, this thing will have 6. But we're gonna. Oh yeah, what's the thrust weight ratio of this thing? Again, we're hoping this is going to be in orbit. So 0.52 is not great. But for orbital maneuvers, that's okay. It'll be a bit more of an issue if we need to use it when trying to get into orbit, but we are going to be hopefully adding some. Well, we're going to be adding a lot more weight and hopefully some more engines to this. Alright, I feel like that's probably quite enough. This is quite a wide thing. I feel like an extra good segment might be just an extra one just to get a little bit wider. Oof, graphene, no, thank you. Fuel tanks. I feel like going for the 2.5 meter, 5 meter ones around the sides. We only get to fit one engine to each one. That's the only downside. Which I have a feeling will be a bit of an issue. Or do we go straight for the do we go straight for the wider ones? We'll go for the wider one actually. We can always reduce down as we go up, but the main thing here is to all of these are going in the same, or is that is going in the same as well. Yeah, well, that TWR there is 1.34, which is, yeah, I feel like maybe we can switch these to be double attached nodes, maybe. Slightly fewer engine. So yeah, 1439 meters per second. Which again, that's enough to get us out of that's 1.02. That's enough to get us out of low curve in orbit. Having said that, like this might be that's yeah. Hang on. That TWR is before we add actually, let's just get rid of this whole thing and just duplicate this again. Yeah, because I mean this all of this is the same. Alright, yeah, 0.34 is before we add fuel. So what we do now is we're in the fuel tanks, so we add a what's it here? Pipe the fuel in, which will give us 1534 than 664. Then we see how much what our fuel is like when we're So the question is, do we? Yeah, I think like going for the option of white and orange. I think white's probably the best one to go for here. Actually, before we do this, do we want the? No, not necessarily here. We want that. Oh no, that's the well, this one. The option of white and orange. White's probably a bit better here. So yeah, already down to 0.9. 0.73, but we're getting a fair bit more delta V out of this. Let's go for the... Which one is it? I think it's this one. Actually, before we do that, let's add a... Yeah, let's do the payload 2.5 meter service bay with with the I find this an easier way of storing the large, like assuming it'll actually go in. Storing the it seems to be an easy way of storing this thing inside. Yeah. Again, quite a long thing, so it might be wobbly as all hell, but it's going to be quite heavy, so we want the ability to rotate things. We want a electrical. We want let's grab it. It's a single 4K battery bank. Then we stick this on top. I think we just go straight to the. Yeah, actually, I mean, like we're nearly at the top at the height anyway. I didn't realize we had these. I think that might work quite a bit better actually. I'll do, and with some those cones, so we get 3,400. So we got about 4,000 delta V out of this. Out of this stage, which, you know, that's most of the way to Minmus, assuming it. Most of the way to Moho, assuming we actually can control the damn thing, which is another thing we're going to be testing. This is why we're launching one of these to test it. Yeah, so we want aerodynamics, pointy nose cones. And we strut this thing up like nobody's business. We add some fin. Oh, actually no, because this is the top thing. Then we need to get this damn thing into orbit, which may require some very big boosters. How many parts are we on? 315 parts. 800 tons. Jesus Christ! I'm not even sure we can get this into orbit with all the parts. and then kind of on the assumption that like this entire thing, maybe like we might be taking this entire thing as far as we can go towards Moho. I do want to add some solar panels on the outside. So just like one each, and then I guess we can. No, we'll have to have a communitron on the outside as well. Kind of a bit wary of putting on the outside, but I suppose we could put one on. Yeah, actually, putting one on the bottom here might be Putting one on there might make more sense, and actually putting the solars on there might be a better shout as well. Okay, we also need to strut this up down here. So we'll hopefully like see what the avionics are like. Right, so we want to try and get this whole thing into orbit, which may require just many rockets. This is probably gonna balloon a bit. So TWR of 70.7, 3398. And then 6. So it's about 40, about 3,900 delta V. We also want some separatrons. Actually, probably just like might boosters. Yeah, might SRVs. Which we stick in this one. We then rotate them. And then clip them a little further in if they'll go. There we go. Right. That should probably be enough to have them clear the central stage. Let's save what we got. And then we set this back to sea level, and we try and put this horrendous monstrosity into orbit. So these are all we want probably medium long. I think long's probably a bit long. About this one, yeah, medium long and medium long. I think since these are built-in decouplers. Viewer tanks. We can start with. I feel like just going straight for the adapter. Let's go straight to the 5-meter parts. And just see if we can even get this thing to go off the pad. So 5-meter parts, so probably let's just see what we can do with the Saturn. This is a making history Saturn V-esque part, which. Let's have a look at the engines. So we have our options are we're looking at vacuum, sea level. So 1300. What do these ones do? 1200. Mastodons. Mammoths. They're too big for this. I feel like mainsails are probably best bet. I don't think we've got anything more powerful at sea level than that. So if we stick one of those in the middle, we switch that to bare mount. 1.39. That's like 1361. It's not great, but it will get off the pad. I'm thinking SRBs might give us a bit of an extra kick. What's the burn time of this thing? This thing's burn time is 83 seconds. I don't suppose there's any indication of which SRB burns for that long. Clydesdale. .926 has some vectoring, which is good. There's no way of working out, so 16,000. I guess the only thing to really do is to add it on. So coupling, let's maybe try this one, but I'm not sure. Nah. I think the best bet would be to attach one of these further up with a spacey part for spacing purposes, and then I think Clydesdales. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Okay, right, move you down. Yeah, we're getting to the limits of the VAB here. So it's not a lot of meters per second, but it is. It's about the same burn time. $1,667. Let's add a bunch of struts. .48. Again, once we get it high enough in the atmosphere, like there should be enough here to at least mostly circularize us, I reckon. Let's strut this whole thing up. So this needs some serious strutting. Yeah, I'm not sure like an extra stage here, but an extra tank might help. Yeah. Because I mean, I'm wondering if it's worth adding an extra one of the some extra tanks, it might not ruin the thrust to weight ratio that much, and it will give us some more delta V. Or swap them out for that, maybe. Yeah. For the bigger tank, not that one. No, wrong tank. This one. This big tank. So big. This might be a bit too big for the engines, but right. What is going on here? Right. Staging wise, everything in here. There you go. That's 2,000 delta V. 1.38, that's a pretty decent thrust to weight ratio. 1.97 by the time we jettison these. We will be moving these down though. Somehow. Not really as much of a need to space them out now, is there? Yeah, there is kind of. Can I control Z that? Oh wow, I can try control Z that, but the game does not like that. Oh wow, it's chugging. That's... Okay, so I'll try control Z-ing anymore. Game took a while to think through that one. Alright, firstly you can go here. You can go on here. We can get those Clydesdales back. For some reason it just loves flipping them over when we do that. Alright. Because we're not going to be like attaching them at... Well, they're attaching them quite near the top. I still want to put some separatrons on there. Okay. Oh. Placement. Right. Back into move mode. That's about the right place. Let's restrut all this. And again, we'll probably try to be a bit less, not so aggressive with the gravity turn, because we're going to want to get us over the atmosphere before this thing tries to pitch over. But we go with all of the engines. I also want to add some separatrons, or I guess more mites. We'll go with separatrons for the these boosters. Pop them in here. No, that's not what I wanted. Duplicate a couple of times. Duplicate again, put them over here, flip them over. a or aerodynamics. So big point nose cones. Everything up here has nose cones, doesn't it? Yep. My God, this is. Where is our center of mass? It is there. Where is our center of drag? It is in a place. It is. Oh, it doesn't have a center. We shall add. We shall add some. Do you want winglets or what? Not tail fin. Should be the bigger. It does look bigger, right? Aerodynamics. Do we even want launch clamps? I feel like we should have launch clamps. Everything's better with launch clamps. This is, yeah. We are at over a million Kerbal dollars. Which is a lot. If it were in career mode, I'd be very, very concerned, but we're not, so it's no problem. Having said that, like in career mode, you can get to like a million, but like a million for one launch, especially since this is a test launch, right? So we're not even like sure this is gonna work. Right. Let's save what we got. Our 3,000 ton, nearly 500 part launch system of Avatar, which I'd be surprised if a computer can manage this. Right, so we have all the launch clamps, these boosters, these engines, all going at once. Then, at some point, we separate these four. Then we separate and fire up all of these. And at that point, and then at some later point, we jettison these, and we get rid of that. Oh yeah, I also want to do the action groups, because we have so our default's going to be the ship proper. Yeah, so basically like doing our action group sets. So at the moment I think custom 10, yeah, so we want to not toggle these. So in our default we want to be like the ship proper. So toggle solar panels and toggle the antenna. I need to move that antenna a little bit. I don't know. Then in set 1, which is going to be the transfer stage, we do all of the, if we can find them, which is going to be a bit of an ask, we're going to toggle the solar panels here, toggle the antenna here, some more solars up here, rather than toggle the solars here. And I think landers is already done. Yeah, okay, right, let's save this. For the love of God, right. I will move this a little bit so that it's not quite so obviously into... What? No, 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 that was not what I wanted. About as close as it's going to be, I think. Right. Okay, well, for want of a better word, let's save this and let's try and see if we can get it to the Mun. So we're wanting to send this thing up remotely. We don't want anyone on board because we don't even know if this thing is going to fly. So we want the launch pad. It is daylight, which is good. Moho Lander. Oh god, nobody, no one is coming. Nobody. I think that, yeah, I'm pretty sure you weren't able to put people in the command seats before. Like in older versions of KSP, you had to yeah, if you wanted to have them in the command like that to get out of a capsule and do stuff, right? Mission flag. Let's set this to something a bit more silly. Since it is a bit experimental. Experimental engineering. Yeah, experimental engineering. That's a suitable flag for this mission. All right, let's try this thing out. Good God, we'll give it about 20 minutes to load the craft in. This is definitely the most parts in a single craft I've ever tried to launch in this game. So nearly 500. So it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, happens. So the plan at the moment, we're going to go to the moon. We're going to try and land it with nobody on board. Sort of similar to last time, but I'm not that bothered about like doing science and getting it back or anything. I just want to see that the landing works. I want to see that the deployment of the rover works. That is all I care about. Come on, little computer. I have faith in you. Okay, right, okay. So I can hear something, but it's still I imagine this will be quite right, okay. So we think up is up, which is good. Toggle SAS. Full throttle. And then take a screening of this. I'm going to try and do screenings of every Right. Let's turn off aerodynamics. Kerbal Engineer Redux has been holding that one up. I do need to see if I can figure out how to get Kerbal Engineer Redux to tell me my my like live thrust to weight ratio. Because we've been at 1 minute 1 second from apoapsis for quite a while. Okay, aim for an orbital height of 80 kilometers. So we go up to 75 and then get a bit closer to apoapsis. Right. Let's go down to about 30 seconds to apoapsis. Seems to be fair. Right, 25 seconds. This is. We're going to pass apoapsis. Okay, we in orbit. That took a while, but we're in orbit. It's I have no idea if these will even generate any power, but I'm willing to try it. But yeah, we're in an orbit. It's not a great orbit, I will admit. A little bit inclined, but I don't know if we'll need to correct that too much. An asteroid. Again, it's never that, yeah. Right. So Parallax is at 112. That's gonna hit it. Having said that, hitting it is not there. There should be enough delta V here to actually do most of our and do our deorbit as well. And we managed to get into orbit. We've got 2,500 delta V left, so I kind of feel like we'll be okay. Let's see if we can't get this down to like 30 kilometers. 20 kilometers. I think that's a safe. We can do a course correction to fine tune that. How slow is this thing at pointing? Ooh, it's quite slow. Is it generating power? Enriched uranium thermal power monoprop. Let's try to highlight everything. Look at this beautiful thing. So, 1 minute 29-second burn. I think that's definitely worth a screeny. Right. Yeah. Let's continue this test, shall we? Let's warp to our maneuver, and then hopefully give it enough time to rotate back towards pointing the way it wants to go. It's very, very slow at the moment, but at the same time, like once you're in orbit, you generally have a lot of time to do things. Okay, we'll start burning. 40 seconds. Bring this entire thing into Munar orbit. And then we're basically going to be like jettisoning the entire nuclear stage when we're doing our landing, will be the plan. time we're on? 54 minutes past, right? I'm wanting to finish at 8 p.m. pretty much exactly this evening because I have plans later. So yeah, this is going to hopefully be a strictly 2-hour stream. I might even end it a bit earlier if we're about to start something major. It's turning a lot faster now because there's a whole lot less fuel in it. But yeah, we do kind of want to try fixing that. Again, we can fine tune that later. I'll call that a success. All right, let's focus on the Mun. Right, so at the moment we're coming in a little high. So what we'll do is we'll try and pick somewhere on the orbit if we can, which it won't let us because I guess just grab a bit of your add a maneuver here and let's just drag it. Right about here. Right, so we want to get our periapsis so it's about crossing the equatorial line, which means we're going down, like so. And then we want to reduce this ideally, so that's going up, I want it to go down. No, other way. Gotta go faster. There we go. So that's our goal. And even though, oh yeah, 7.5 meters per second, so we can point at our maneuver node, which we will do. And then yes, hopefully this thing will be better at landing, because if it isn't, then we're just going to have to take it from I don't think there's much more I can do to improve the landing chances apart from using MechJeb to land it, which I don't want to do first time out, because that's cheating. So let's just point ourselves where we want to go, and Hopefully it won't change too much when we warp to our maneuver. I'm not quite sure how much delta V it has, is it? Okay, let's as we leave the sphere of Kerbal behind. And again, go down to like 5 seconds and then just try and do the burn, because I'm not going to be using full. I can't be asked to change the thrust limiter on all of those engines, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Again, the actual timing of the burn doesn't so much matter because we're basically like going along nearly straight line. So like whereas when you're on a circular orbit, like if you leave it too late, then you're actually burning in a different direction or a different point. So yeah. Not sure, but I might as well wait for it now. I think Kerbal looks a lot better when you have city lighting at night. It looks a lot more like a lived-on planet. Okay. .0, I'll take that. Right, hopefully that's put our Parallax in a reasonable place. They are 20 points, that's fine. Add a maneuver to circularize. Hopefully it's not too long a burn. Again, we didn't take too long to capture, and then we just fine tune it a little bit less fine tuned than that. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 21 to 19.9. Can we do better than that? I feel that's probably about circular enough. Don't want to get too much below 20 kilometers, otherwise I risk hitting something. 26-second burn though. 298, which again leaves us with like a fight. What will our thrust to weight ratio be on the moon? Like, we could probably land with this thing. We're gonna have low moon. We're gonna have in lunar orbit. We're gonna have like 1500 delta V left. If we have, like, we could in theory land this entire thing on the moon, which would be amusing to try. But I want to test the actual landing legs and stuff. So we'll be using it to deorbit, but then we'll basically hit a lot of staging to go down to the lander essentially, and crash a whole load of stuff into the surface of the Mun. So yeah, let's fast forward to our capture burn. Cool, right. do, 21 to 19. Okay, we're in orbit. This is cool. Let's screen grab that while we're here. Right, so let's just I guess go straight to a landing attempt. So, right, we're going to be using this thing to deorbit. We then hit a lot of space bars. So we're going to jettison this, we're going to jettison this, we're going to jettison this, we're going to jettison... jettison that. We jettison these, and then we jettison... Yeah, so basically it's like going for about, what, from stage 7 to stage 1 in about, well, pretty short order, because we're going to be on our descent trajectory when we do that. So, pick a reasonable landing spot. We've landed in this crater before. We haven't landed in this crater yet, so I'm thinking if we switch on landing mode. Add a maneuver. We are about 500, so we're like 250 meters per second. And then we want to ideally want to aim for the middle of the crater, because the middle of the crater is probably going to be relatively flat. Like so. Like that. But this is gonna move when we actually get closer to it. So if we go around to, like, say here. It doesn't move very fast, but we will adjust yeah, and then do this landing jobby. Right. Cool, so grab this, drag it around, point at about the middle of the I think we aim, like, try and go for the middle of this crater, because this crater might be flat. Something like this. Across basically, like, we want to fly over it. Ideally. There should be a lot of staging going on in a minute. So yeah, I mean, again, if this doesn't work, if we crash, that's okay. I mean, there's no Kerbals on board, so you know, it'll just come down as a mission failure. But let's see, do I have a... I do have landing guidance, but I don't want to use landing guidance. Let's see if I have the option. Right, so... Three, 2, 1, and start burn. Cool. Right. So now we are on a let's point ourselves retrograde, and let's switch this to this. We have 2 minutes to. So our suicide burn length is currently 47.9 seconds. So hopefully, if we All right. So let's try this out. So let's try and once the second we hit prograde, we'll stage. So we stage. We do. Right, what's it? 4 minutes, and the suicide burn cooldown there is going up, not down, which makes me let's okay, right, so we are now in bits, and this is what we want to land with. And we have a suicide burn countdown, which is good. We want to switch to our landers stage. Hit G to extend our quote-unquote landing legs. Yeah, we have 48 seconds of suicide burn, so I do want to start burning that down. Okay. Try to find a relatively flat region to land on, although we may not get much of a choice. We do want to not land there though. Let's right, let's we could try a suicide burn, see what a suicide burn does. I mean, again, worst case scenario, it results in our ultimate demise. Actually, we are. We are over the middle of a crater at the moment. Let's try land in this crater. Okay, I'm going to trust this suicide burn countdown. And burn. Let her settle down, if she ever will. But, I mean... look at that. Look at that. Look, it is down. We landed, like, quite weirdly. We're on one hell of a... We're on a fair bit of a slope. And look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these chunky landing legs. Didn't even have a problem. They were just like, yeah, we're down. Like, it's fine. Like, look at this. Look at this Chad lander with its massive chunky legs. Right. I mean, I say we snap it being down because I mean this is far superior to the previous lander. And do it again because we've turned aerodynamics off. I need to rebind that key so that the so taking a screenshot doesn't toggle the aerodynamics. Right. So let's get our cal controller, which will hopefully remember everything. Yes, it does. This is good. Right. So what we'll do is we'll play. We'll pause it for a second because before we fully decouple, I want to grab the science and pop it in here so that we at least get something up to might as well try. So let's we have this. We want to log temperature. We want to... Have we done gravity yet? No. Gravity data. I mean, I don't know if this will actually work, but oh, well, you got some extra options there. Right, and if we go to here, so we only get to do this once, but so yeah, we've got 6 store data. That'll do fine. Right, so let's continue our attempt at rover deployment. So let's play. Pause because it's dangling out. Go do the screenshots. Let's continue playing. Just hopefully lower it down. And let's I mean, it's probably gonna explode somewhere, but see if we can't toggle this on. Yeah. Where? Oh, SAS. Sorry. Before we do any damage and brakes. I'm surprised this has gone. This is undamaged, but I'm kind of hoping we're slowing down. Okay, let's toggle the torque off. We don't need it anymore. And toggle it back on because we do. Toggle off and wow, this thing is so flip heavy. I have a feeling the brakes are reversed, aren't they? No. There appears to be no attempt at braking. Oh, yeah. I just have a feeling this thing is going to be a... Gonna just be continuously. Oh no, it is slowing down now. Okay, right. So that was a lot of Okay. That went quite far. Right. Can we drive back? That's the question. This thing is very, very flip heavy, Rover. But it doesn't so much matter now, because if we flip it, we can flip it back over, and it seems to like, I mean that like it drifted quite far before and was going quite quickly, and it didn't take any damage. Don't suppose there are any surface features on here to play around with, but managed to get some science as well. But no, like I think we've like this lander, not a bad lander. The rover deployment isn't perfect, but I mean it'll do. It's a pretty decent lander. Yeah, I feel like it's better with the it's a lot better with the collision. I turned the collisions off in the Parallax mod. Because it was basically like it was pretty much undrivable and like Kerbals couldn't even wander around. Let's go park this next to the lander. Let's go and deliver some science. Try and deliver some science to the Mun station, or at least we'll get it in. Actually, we'll do that later. We'll do that at some later point. And actually, to be fair, we can leave this here because you never know. It might be useful to have a lander on the surface of the Mun in this crater. So let's hit the brakes. Let's hit brakes. So the brakes do work, kind of. Let's switch back, and I feel like I mean like it's here. If anyone ever need if we ever need it, there's enough. I think there's enough to do some hopping. So and again we can get that science. We can get that science later. I think we're happy to leave this. I'm happy to leave this here for now, and we can come back to it if we want to. But I'm satisfied with that performance. So let's head back to Space Center. Let's try and get as I'm sat side of that ship. Let's try and I'm thinking of probably a little bit less a little bit more like less conservative the gravity turn there. But yeah, we're gonna aim to get another one of those landers with the transfer stage and everything into orbit. Say like 100-kilometer orbit, LKO. I'll try and do it manually, rather than getting MechJeb to do it. So we'll do that now because we're 1 hour 24. So if we can get this Moho Lander. So let's change our mission flag to ESA. We ESA? No, not ESA. We're Kerbal, aren't we? Default. There we go. Kerbal Space Center. I'm ESA on my other one. Although apparently there's a UK space agency, which apparently that's a thing. But we're in the classic Kerbal space program. We are not taking any Kerbals with us. Get out of there. This is going unmanned. Right, so launch pad. I think I've already launched it once. I'm going to see, like, I've launched it once and it worked. I'm going to see if MechJeb can get it up there. Just for saying again, you've seen me launch it one time. I managed to get it into orbit. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like, should I use MechJeb? Again, because there aren't any Kerbals on board, I feel like I can have like the computer drive it. But at the same time, I'm like, I should probably fly it manually. Again, it's still a relatively new craft, so yeah. Oh yeah, I need to put this into flight mode. Good thing I've got plenty of time to do so because it's going to take a while to load everything in. And then we can, yeah, I'll get this into orbit. Then we'll start looking at the third and final sort of thing to send to Moho, which is a communications satellite network. So there'll be free comsats with a transfer stage, and again, like design the transfer stage so that we can put as much fuel in it as we can, in the hope that we'll have like most of the fuel left by the time we get there with a docking port, so that we can reload. We can refuel our craft. I love that. I don't think the docking clamps have enough. Right, so it's time for take 2. This one is not going to the moon. This one's hopefully going to Moho. Hopefully, he says. Okay, I won't bother taking screenshots of this because I've already got basically the same thing. We don't have any Kerbals on board, which is good. Yeah, let's go. I think it may be a little more aggressive. I think we were gravity turning by about 3 kilometers. I feel like I'll start doing the gravity turn about 1.5. Maybe about 2. Frame rate is suffering a little. if I hear the space music. Right, we're at 90, going on 90 kilometers apple axis. I wanted to get that to about 100. And let's just push that out to cool. Okay, alright, MechJeb, maneuver planner, circularize, next apopsis, great node. Right, start burn in 11 seconds. Right, we've got just enough time to do this. I think the ability to create the node quickly is quite useful. 2, 1, I don't want there. I don't want all these up, but long burn. But it's quite large, so kind of makes sense. Surprisingly not wobbly. Like, it's surprisingly stable. I'm actually quite surprised it's not wobbling itself half to death. I may be talking a bit louder because like this is going right into my eardrums, so I'm talking louder because yeah, I guess that's just kind of a natural thing. Like if you're hearing a loud noise, you will tend to talk louder. 70, 60. And 10 and 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it redo, and then do the last 1.6 meters per second on. And 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. There we go. Right, hopefully that should be relatively circular orbit. Circular enough. 101 to 98, that's 3 kilometers difference. That's pretty fine. I mean, it's to be fair, that's not that far off equatorial. I could fine tune it. I think it'll make it easier for let's just set that as target to get our next thing, which is we've just passed the ascending node, so our next thing is the descending node. Actually, we can just do match planes of target, can't we? Maneuver node, maneuver planner, Match planes of target. Create node. I don't mind using the maneuver planner because like this just because like I feel like I've demonstrated I know how to do this. So if I think I'm confident that I know how to do it manually, then I'll use the maneuver planner just to make it quicker. I mean, like for example, when you're like plotting that circularization, like by the time I'd gone in and actually circularized my orbit, it would have been too late to start the burn. So I feel like that's all right. But yeah, we just match planes to the moon, and then we'll leave this. So we'll also extend our piddly little solar panel so we don't run out of power whilst this thing is spending however many days it is, which is 24 days in orbit. Alright, so let's do this maneuver. We'll try to do this maneuver. All of its maneuvery glory. Cool. Yeah, so then we'll use the last like 15 minutes to start designing our communications satellite thing, which again will be hopefully just a big fuel tank with some satellites attached to it. I feel like I should do that. I feel like I should design it as a giant fuel tank that has some satellites attached to it. I feel like I should do that. Like, because I don't need to send 3, I don't need to send 6, so I can attach them to the side and probably get them inside a large fairing. So I feel like I will do that. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just before we hit 1, we'll reorient ourselves. And then 3, 2, 1, 0. There we go. Cool. Let's point ourselves prograde. Let's fly it. Let's point ourselves the way we're going. Eventually, and then we will. God, this thing rotates so slowly. Oh yeah, so we've got 2,513 meters per second of delta V. Actually, no, we've got more than that. We've got 2,500, and we've got an extra 660 after that. So we've got 3,000 delta V, and that's before we even start using our nuclear stage. So this thing should easily get to Moho with enough fuel left to replenish the main Moho ship. And again, it seems to maneuver quite fine. Like it's able to point where it's going, and again, I guess because these engines have quite good lever arms, so. But yeah, so we've got just coming up on 1 out of 40. Oh yeah, sorry. It's. I need to remember that I started the stream about 3 minutes before 8 o'clock, so the stream live time is a little bit ahead of. Like yeah, so it's currently 20 to 8. So I've got 20 minutes, which I think is enough time to start designing the third and final component of our Moho mission, which is some communication satellites. So let's leave this bad boy in orbit. And yeah, basically built a fuel tank with some satellites on it. So I'm going to modify the communication satellites a bit. Because they're going to Moho, and because Moho's near the sun, and the sun is very hot, very, very hot thing, as suns generally are, we will I will be adding some thermal panels to the satellite. Just, you know, I might also reduce the solar panel size, because we're going to be so close to sun. Solar panels like 10 times as effective. So yeah, let's go straight to the VAB. I should probably save the game as well, just in case it crashes, just in case we get a crash, because I mean that's yeah, I'll do that now actually. Oh god, it's going to try and load in the thing, isn't it? Oh god, no. This is why it's taking so long. Ah, perfectly designed Moho Lander. Which definitely won't explode when we switch back to it from the... Yeah, I think it's trying to load that. It's trying to load that ship, isn't it? So yeah, so 500 part ships are doable. I think there's been a noticeable frame rate drop when we're and a bit laggy at times. Yeah, don't. I really hope it doesn't crash on me now. Like, no, I just mentioned I should probably save the game. Like, I'd really rather not hit crash. Boy, it's taking a while. It's taking a concerningly long time. Oh, there we go. Right, let's just hit new before we do anything else. Can I assume I can't now. Let's leave here for a second. Hopefully, it will take less time to go into the thing when we're not loading in the giant Moho Lander ship of doom. Right, cool. Right, let's just quickly save at the moment, just in case anything, just in case in case we get a crash or anything. So yeah, back to VAB. Let's go into VAB mode. Hopefully it shouldn't take as long to load up now, because there's no giant ship to load in. Hopefully. Unless clicking new ship just stop that from we'll see. Hopefully clicking new ship cleared the ship from the thing. So come on. I think it's trying to load the ship. Oh, there we go. Right, okay, we're back in. Cool, right, so we have, if we go into the advanced options, if we go to our sub-assemblies, the is bigger RA, I think RA15 is still the best communications dish we have. It's power receiver. Don't think this works as Comnet, does it? Oh no, data transmit tracer transmitter 200. Anyway, no, we're gonna grab the RA15 ComSat. It's the biggest one we currently have. Actually, I think we'll leave it as is. We're gonna add some thermal panels to it though. Just a radiator, no, a small thermal control system. Like so. If we do delta V to vacuum, and again, this thing what is it with the spark engine? Like, it says interstellar fusion engine, which it isn't. It's just an engine. I feel like this is a bug. Like, it shouldn't be a fusion engine. Like, do we have any alternatives? Again, it's just a liquid fuel engine, but it doesn't say how much delta V it has. I guess let's reroute. I find that so annoying. Like, what? Okay, what is the? Okay, let's just modify. Let's just edit. Let's just. These are. How do I move these? No idea. Because I just a bit of a. Only go in atmospherical stages compact. Let's leave this up here. So at the moment we have a delta V of 954, which is considerably more than we need. That's fine then. Cool, so let's reroute this. Let's drop this into our satellite subassemblies again. Alright, 15 Comsat plus thermal. Has radiator. Cool. Right. So let's get rid of this. Let's go back to the functional. Right. Let's start on with our. Again, we've got about 10 minutes, so we can get a fair way into this. So the idea here is to design a. Drop this back a second. Is to design a fuel tank that has basically a flying fuel tank that has some satellites attached to it. So we start with the service bay. This is going to be the core of our mission. We want a pod, so remote guidance unit I think is the best one we've got currently. We'll also stick Kerbal engineering system and wherever the command and control is in it, the MechJeb. MechJeb in here. We want a advanced reaction wheel, which will go in here. We'll grab a 4K battery. 4K battery pack should be enough for what we need. We will grab a. So we're gonna grab the docking port senior, and we're also gonna grab an engine plate because we can. You can undock a part from. So you can start with it attached, and then you can undock it. So if we want to, so we have some options basically. If we have the senior docking port available, we can dock with it. Otherwise, yeah. I do also want some monoprop in here. Stick that on there. That gives us most of what we need. So now we want a flying fuel tank, basically. So I'm thinking if we grab the big one, we set this to liquid fuel. Make it orange. So yeah, let's not make this too long. swap the nuclear stage on. So let's just swap. I feel like trip nukes will be enough. Oh yeah, we need to make sure this is set to propellant, liquid fuel. Oh yeah, delta V already 8,000. Already 8,000. Delta V. Frost weight ratio is not too bad. 0.39. We are going to add a few. So if we grab this, we grab the plus thermal. Actually, what we need is we need a radial attachment point. Because, yeah, no, structural. Where's our radial attachment point? We put these up here. Want 3 of them. Oh yeah, we also want to control vessel naming. Configure vessel naming. Untitled spacecraft is going to be called the Moho Comsat deployment. Except this, we'll call this Moho Comsat deployment. Save what we currently have in case we run out of time, and yeah, I reckon we can fit that inside. So we're now at 7,000 delta V, which is okay. Oh yeah, we can disable staging on the decouplers. Okie dokie, so we have this thing, which again is oh yeah, we can actually we don't necessarily need to remove that from staging. We can we will make it a short variant though. So let's add some hydraulic detachment manifolds. No, let's try the radial attachment decoupler. I haven't used this part before. Can we tweak it up a bit? Grab some fuel tanks. Whoa, that's a big one. That's slightly less big. Try this one. Oof. This game is a bit laggy today. Alright, so we want 2.5 meter parts. Make these liquid fuel. we're coming up on 8 o'clock, so I will add the fuel tanks. Which again looks like 3,007, so that's 10,000 delta V. So 3,000 is, you know, most of the way there. Well, to be fair, I feel like we could probably attach these to the that makes more sense. Again, the delta V seems to have gone completely haywire, but it is nearly 8 o'clock, so we will save what we have, and we will try and get this thing sorted out. But that's what we have currently. Yes, we will save. Yes, so we save this. We leave. Yeah, so it's coming up at 8 o'clock, so it's time for me to finish off this stream. And yeah, so your next stream will be Sunday. Yeah, Sunday evening. I moved my regular schedule to 7 o'clock to 9 because it sort of works better for me. Yeah, so we'll finish off getting the Moho communication satellites done and into orbit, and then we will start looking at planning what we want to send to Dres, which I'm planning on there being. I think it'll probably be like it'll be I'm going to try and go for a sort of modified design on modified design on the KSS Pioneer, because I feel like we're not going to need that much delta V for Dres. So and then I've got some ideas for what I might want to try and do with a lander. So quick save 34 and quit swim menu. So yeah, that's the end of the session. It is just gone 8 o'clock, so that's perfect timing on my count. Let's see what the menu gives us. It's proving. Should take this long for the menu to come up. I hope it's because it's rendering the pixels of cat. There we go. I know. We're not even on the moon. That's disappointing. Anyways, yes, Sunday. We will do more like the final bit of Moho prep. Get everything we want going to Moho into orbit. Then we'll start looking at what we want to do for Dres. Yeah, so see you then. Cheerio.